So a question that gets asked fairly often is, how expensive is the sport of slingshots? Well, the real answer to that is it could be inexpensive or as expensive as you make it. It comes down to several factors: cost of the frame, cost of ammunition, cost of your catch box, cost of your targets, cost of your latex, your bands, which all vary depending on the degree of professionalism or performance that you're looking for. Let's start with the frame. You can pick up production frames fairly inexpensively, anywhere between about $20 to about $50. You can get frames from home manufacturers, individuals that make their frames because they love the sport, they love the expansion of the sport, like this one from Mr. Gene Kirkland, little pickle fork. You can get them as nice as like this Osage orange and red oak by Mr. Dan Hood. You can get some that are fairly inexpensive, like this one from Mr. Jordan Smothers. Or, if you want to be really inexpensive about it, you can make your own. Targets is another thing. Targets can be pretty much anything you want it to be. I mean, it's not hard to find something to aim at. There are paper targets out there that you can buy. There's steel targets, there's the spinners, there's the little felt phoenix or pheasant head. It's a matter of how much you want to spend on it. Targets will tear up. Targets are a dispensable item. It's something you will have to replace over and over again. The least expensive way to make a target is just to take any piece of cardboard and a marker, and draw your bullseye. Let's go set this up real quick. I'll be right back. To keep with the theme, I'm going to be using the one that I made. The only thing this cost me was time. I had the tools laying around. Most people have a simple saw, a pocket knife. That's all you really need to make a frame. This is a natural fork, a piece of cedar, and it works just as well. So let's talk about catch boxes. Teddy girl. Catch boxes are one of those things that you can purchase. Or you can build your own. Mine is made out of pallets and string and dollar clamps. You can make them out of trash cans, you can make them out of 55-gallon drums, you can make them out of water bottles, you can make them out of just a piece of canvas with rope tying it to the top and the bottom so you catch everything. So it's not that difficult to build one, but like I said, you can purchase them. The next thing you want to look at is latex. Let's talk about band sets in general. Latex and pouches are the key ingredients to a slingshot, besides the ammunition. You can buy pre-made. You can buy rolls and make your own. You can. There are companies out there that will cut them down to your size. If you get into making your own, the expense in the beginning goes up a little bit because there are tools that you have to purchase, like a cutting board, or a cut board, and a cutting wheel. It helps to have paper guides. It helps to have um, uh, band jigs, things like that, but it doesn't necessarily require all that. You can do it on an old cutting board with a cutting wheel. I would recommend that. With simple homemade clamp style band jigs and some twine. Um, Pouches are fairly inexpensive. You can usually get them 5 to 10 for anywhere between $5 and $20, depending on the complexity and quality of the pouch. You can, I don't know where I was going there. Ammunition. Ammunition is fairly inexpensive. I usually use 5/16. I can get 1,500 rounds for about $20. And because of my catch box, I don't waste a lot of it. I can recover the majority of it. There are a few that fly off the handle sometimes. I don't recover them. They bounce back out, and they get buried, or they fall on the ground and get buried. But it's not that expensive if you recover the majority of it. I do not recommend shooting rocks. It is not a safe projectile for beginners especially. It is not a safe, effective projectile for the advanced. You can make this hobby very expensive. The biggest thing that most people don't talk about is what I refer to as GAS, Gear Acquisition Syndrome. You've got a new love of a new sport, and you saw that new frame come out, and it looks awesome. You've got to have it. I completely understand. I am that guy. Although I can make my own, although I do make my own, I like having multiple options. I like having nice frames to show off, to kind of pique the interest of the sport to other people, but it doesn't have to be that. I mean, I could have been perfectly fine making this natty and buying me some latex and cutting and make my own bands, and I was done. All I needed was ammunition and a target then, and I would have been, for a roll of latex and band or pouches and ammunition, I'd have been about $50. And as long as I recovered the majority of my ammunition, the only expense then would have been latex and pouches. So I mean, it's a minimal cost. It doesn't have to be $1,000 a month habit. It can be. It doesn't. It's just not required. I mean, it's something we do because we like the sport and we like to show off. I mean, hell, everybody likes to show off their stuff. That's all I gotta say about that. I'm gonna shoot a little bit more. And as you can tell, Natty is a very effective tool. This outer grouping is when I was talking to you. The center grouping right there is when I paused for a second to shoot a couple. Yeah, I'm not paying attention to my target. But it doesn't have to be expensive. It doesn't have to drain the bank. It doesn't. I mean, it's $50, and anybody can get started in this sport. Appreciate it. I'm Robert. I'm gonna keep rambling on.